Welcome to Rupee Table, a D&D podcast from the Rupee Crew.
Welcome back to the Rupee Table. When we last left our heroes, you had begun your adventure in Bakaran, a city known for its towers, its canals, and most importantly, its library. You all met in the entry courtyard to the library, each denied entrance but not without cause. In the wake of a storm that passed through the previous night, came a herd of hungry, roof-munching goers. As morning came, the keepers of the library were faced with a proliferation of problematic roof perforations, especially considering that springtime can be a bit stormy on this isthmus between the Arlok and the Salak. You all hastily hatched a plan to infiltrate the library, posing as the expected extermination team, and were luckily, surprisingly, let in by the Keeper of Tomes themselves, Veril Loristina. From their office, they explained the problem once more, as well as their proposed solution. Figure out what happened to the goer's predator, the Crix. Since they are believed to nest under the city, you were given the wares needed to safely navigate under the city's underground canals in order to find one of the Crix nests. Towards the end of one of the canals, you discovered that one of said nests had been overtaken by a slimy, tentacly, horde-eating creature. Despite having all only just met, you all skillfully took the creature down before it, or the walls of the cavern around you, could take you down. Then, out of the nooks and crannies came the surviving Crix, all clearly very grateful that you had saved them from this creature. Amidst the horde of mostly trash, partially roof tiles, you found a book, bound in leather, no title in the front, and as you pick it up, a page slips out onto the floor before you. Now remind me, who found the book? Was that you, Waydog?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So as you were taking a look at this book, still within this cavern, hearing the sound of the rushing water outside, filling the cavern now once again, you see a piece of paper slip out of the book that you just found. I can only assume that you pick it up to take a look at it.
Immediately.
You pick up this piece of paper, and it is very clearly does not belong with the rest of this book. As you were taking a flip through it, it was all writing. Someone's journal, perhaps. All handwritten, dated every couple of pages here and there. But this, made from a similar paper, folded up, looks to be a map of some kind. Around the edges is a decorative border, sort of braided, almost scale-like, that goes across the top of the page, down the sides of the page, and meets at the bottom to an illustration of a dragon.
Oh.
My young lord, is everything okay?
Oh my god, I found it! Oh my god, I found it!
He's having a conniption. Does anybody know medicine?
Waydog can't speak and is just pointing. He's dropped the book and is pointing at the dragon on the map and is just making noises that you understand enough. You know him well enough to understand that it means potential dragon.
Oh, yes, the dragons, of course, of course.
And I think we're here, and then maybe if we go this way, maybe, I don't know, what do you think?
Taking a look at the map, you don't really see conventional roads or paths. Or rather, it strikes you more as like an artistic representation of a map, that it's very geometric, it's very symmetrical. There are names sort of like written along the path that, like, maybe it's towns, maybe it's poetry, maybe it's just somebody scribbling a bunch of stuff on it. But you can also see that up in the left corner appears to be sort of a mountain range. The top right corner, a forest. Between the two is an illustration of a book, just opened wide, with the suggestion of text written in the book. No actual words written there, but just sort of kind of like line, little scribble kind of dealio thing. Below that, from all of your travels, and from having looked at many different maps as you've gone across the country, and most of you I think would be able to piece this together as well, is the markings for water. Below that, there is a triangle with 2 lines cut through it, and 3 circles in each of the divisions of the triangle. Off of the triangle is a set of circles that are set outward from each other, kind of like a ripple. And then the bottom of the border, the dragon itself.
Could I pick up the book it came from?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And can I inspect the book?
Yes, you can. Can you roll... Let's just do perception.
First dice roll of the episode.
Oh, that's a...
Shut the fuck up, is it? Oh my god.
And that what, Steve?
That's
20.
a nat 20. That's 2 episodes I've already started with nat 20s. So that is...
Oh my god.
Lord, now, Julie.
I want to know everything. Tell me who the final boss is.
Okay.
So that's a 23.
Okay, beautiful. So Frederick, you pick up this book, and you take a closer look at it while Wada is, understandably, freaking out about the contents of this map. And you see that it is a journal. Written by someone who... You flip through a couple pages, you're not really able to find their name, perhaps. There's the names of a couple other people. There's a mention of these folks called the Vistani. They seem to have cared for the journal writer when she fell off a horse and broke her leg. And just kind of skimming through the journal itself, it seems like it recounts their kindness towards her, the time that she spent recovering, traveling with them in their barreled, covered wagons, meeting with other groups, traveling through these kind of cold mists, through parts of the woods where the sounds of wolves and ravens would follow them through the night. And it seems that the very last page, as you get to it, seems like she may have been interrupted while she was writing.
Like the very last page of the book? Like just... Is there blood? Is there blood on the page?
There's not blood on the page.
Okay, that's good.
And it's not actually it's not the last page, it is the last page that she wrote in.
Gotcha.
So there is still like a couple pages towards the end that are completely blank. But yeah, just interrupted mid-sentence. And you see in the page before that actually something about a castle.
Castle. So I'm just making sure I process this
Mm-hmm.
all right. So she was with 2 companions who she was talking about them in the journal? Or did I miss?
Yes. Well, it was there were 2 people that she mentioned in particular, but it was with a group of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was with 2 people in particular that she spoke of the most. One of which she was a little bit more outgoing, the other of which was a bit quieter, but would play, like, beautiful music, and, you know.
So do we see a castle on the map that Wadal has found? Or something that hints at looking like a structure that could be a map? Or, sorry, wow, castle?
I don't know if you would say that it looks like a castle, but, like, it kind of looks like a castle. Sort of around the area where the triangle is. There is a shape of something that is, I'd say, vaguely castle-like. There's, like, one little tower that's got, like, a pointed roof, but it's... When you think castle, it's not quite as, like, detailed as that. Like, the skyline of it is not as detailed, but it, like... It has elements of a castle, but, like, could also just be somebody's really fancy house.
Can I make a nature check to see what kind of dragon it is? Does Wadar know?
Oh,
Kind of dragon
yeah,
illustration.
sure.
Not you. I don't trust you today. Ha!
Is that another nat 20?
Confirmed.
me.
What kind of dragon is it, Julian?
Jesus Christ.
What's its name? What's its blood type?
His name is Cheeseweed. It's a blood type O positive.
Is the dragon related to Yawa?
No, that dragon is not related to Yarrow. You look over at Yarrow and you look at like the face shape of the dragon and Yarrow's face shape, and it is not the same whatsoever. This dragon has like a longer snoot, the horns are a slightly different shape, and like it definitely has wings, and you can garner that its tail is much longer, and it also has 2 more legs than Yarrow has. So, you know.
But essentially the same, is what you're saying.
But
if you squint.
But most of what you know about dragons is, or how to differentiate dragons is by their color. And there is no indication of color on this dragon. You think that... Because you did a nature check, right?
Yeah.
You think that with, like, a little bit more studying and understanding, like, the features of blue dragons versus silver dragons versus black dragons versus gold dragons, you might be able to determine what kind of dragon that is. But you've not been able to actually study enough. Obviously not enough specimens, but also not enough books.
Okay, I think I can figure this out. I can definitely find the dragon!
Julian, I am assuming that whatever Frederick has found in the book,
Mhm.
he's related to the rest of us.
I don't know, Frederick, did you relay what's in the book to the rest of the party?
I'm assuming so. I kind of break out the book and I'm peering through it, but I'm not... Okay, I'm in academia, like, sure, I mean, poaching rights on that, sure, but I'm very generous in this case. So I think I just turn the book and kind of show at least some of the details of, like, this unfinished sentence to you all at first. Say, like, this is bizarre. I don't recognize this author. I don't recognize this hand. Feels like some sort of dialect that I'm not familiar with, but just, it's very interesting. I don't recall this book in the library here.
Can Thurgy roll to see if she recognizes anything regarding the Vistani, the community that
Oh,
you said
sure.
that
Yeah, absolutely.
that the author like was involved with?
Yeah, sure. Give me, I think let's have that be a...
History?
I think history would be good, yeah. If this is another natural 20, I'm gonna throw all of you guys
I
out.
thought it was, but it's not. That is a... I can math, 17.
Okay. So, yes, you have heard of the Vistani before. They are a group of folks who... they're a little bit like nomads, that they just travel from point A to point B, and they live in these exquisite caravans. They're always like decked out in these beautiful colors, beautiful garments. Very friendly people. The chances that you have run into them at some point in your travels is very high. Actually, let's just say that you did at some point. It was a very like quick passing conversation, but you do remember them, and you do remember passing them. And you would know with that role too that supposedly they're quite capable of crossing planes. Keyword supposedly.
Okay.
Does that answer your
Yes.
query?
Yes.
Okay.
What does this say? What does this say?
So I have heard of these Vistani people before. I've actually met them once. I mean, they were really nice. They dressed super cute, like super cute. Loved it. I didn't have any money on me to buy anything that they had, but you know, maybe next time that we meet them, maybe we'll meet them together. I don't know. But so they don't really have like a home land sort of thing. They do just like travel around. So I don't know if we'll be able to like find this person.
Did they mention a dragon?
No, that didn't really come up. I asked them a lot about their jewelry though.
They did seem open to like trade for things. But I assume that most of what Thurgy was wearing is very like precious
Yes.
and like not willing to trade yet.
Sorry, remind me, what areas did they kind of roam around in? Like, what, like, biomes?
They're like
Are they mountainous?
they're more kind of between the two mountain ranges here. Around the forests. not necessarily in the lake region, sort of in the middle here, kind of going around it.
Okay.
Wherever there are main roads,
Gotcha.
you are likely to see them.
Okay, so they're more like a social people.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Very much so, yeah.
Well, wait, many cultures have, I almost said dragon stories. Many of them have dragon stories and tales of long-lost creatures. I don't think they're actually having a dragon around. And look at the age of this book. I mean, pages are falling out. And it's bound, and I hope this is animal leather.
Does the map look like it ripped out of the book or fell out of the book?
It
was
fell
just
out of the
tucked in the book.
Correct.
Okay. Does it look the same age as the book?
No.
Okay.
It does not look like it belongs with the book.
Okay.
But the people in Thuggy said they didn't mention the dragon, and this says there's a dragon, so maybe, I don't know, maybe they're not writing about the dragon, but that doesn't mean that it's not there.
I think this is just pure fantasy, this is an interesting book, and this is all fine and nice, but we have research to do in the library. Maybe we can talk, and I can let the librarian have you borrow this book, and maybe we can learn more about it later.
Can I look at maps in the library?
Sure, but also, we're disgusting. We're in, like, the sewers, right?
Well, they're
Ish.
clean sewers. It is more, to Graham's point before, it is more of an aqueduct kind of situation.
Gotcha.
It's the canals from the Arlock to the Sallock that just kind of run underneath the city. So it's not really dirty, it's clean. It's also magically clean, so,
At least one of us is disgusting.
Yarrow.
At least two of us are disgusting.
Correct.
Because Ben started this adventure gross.
Yeah.
Before we make ways to cleaning ourselves up, can I get perception rolls from Ben, Phasmith, Yarrow, and Thurgy?
We're very imperceptive, wait off.
3.
Oh, Wado's not
That's
perceiving anything that isn't the map.
That's an 18, and I'm an expert in that because I'm a rogue something or whatever. it had.
Excellent.
So that's +3 as well, right?
Yep.
Oh, so I guess that's 21.
Nice.
Cool.
15. But
Or, oh,
yeah.
yes, because
Okay.
of expert. I didn't have room to write that, so I just put expert. So I guess it's another +2. So
Either way, that was a very good roll, so.
his eyes are pretty large. He should see things.
His eyes are just like camera lenses. This goes like, like open up.
So, due to the level of exhaustion I'm carrying around with me, I have to roll with disadvantage, so that's a 10.
Okay. Yarrow, you're good.
Before we go rest around the table, the reason Yarrow is not really paying too much attention to what's going on around him is he is staring daggers at Frederick for insisting that dragons are a figment of fantasy. And I can, in fact, speak their language. And it has only been about 15 generations, sir, since the last dragons roamed the earth.
Like I said, ancient history.
Not ancient history.
Then why are they studied in the history department?
Maybe the history department of your no-good, useless-ass university. But in Fonfiel, we know the dragons. They're still among us.
Wait, let's just move away from this bed for now. It's okay. We will look at the book.
Wado looks like he's trying to hold the map up to Yarrow, but is letting Frederick like pull him back
By the
slowly.
colors.
Ben.
Yeah.
On the map, there are markings that sort of harken the idea of constellations around the watery part of the bottom half of the map. And you see that there's like a name scribbled at the bottom, but your eyes are too tired to make it out. It's in that fancy cursive that you can only read when you are like 100% focused.
Mm-hmm.
Thurgy, taking a closer look at this map, you see that it is not particularly pristine. Amongst the names scribbled across the bottom and across some of the slightly more open-ish parts of the map are some scribblings that you don't understand what they say, but you're pretty sure a goblin wrote that. Looks like goblin language from what you've briefly studied with your parents in order to prepare you for your journey. Phasmith, as you take a closer look at this map, you really don't even need to focus on it because you see immediately that triangle symbol. You know exactly what that means. It's Thieves' Camp. Obviously. How could you have not noticed before?
A little rusty.
And what it says, or rather, it is the symbol for safe or treasure here.
Okay. That's good to know.
What's good to know?
It's been a while since I've heard from some friends of mine. It's just this seems that maybe might be a vault of some kind that we were me and my friends were taking care of some things in.
What?
Wait, furiously flipping the map back and forth, looking at Faz, looking at the map, flipping the map towards Faz, flipping the map towards himself.
It's the
What is it?
It looks like the chip. Because it's like a sturdy symbol, so it's like it's safe. You don't worry about it. You'll. It's
Wait, starts taking out his notebook and furiously writing down.
Okay.
Could you take us there?
Well, why? I apologize, but this is just between me and my friends. I don't see how this would have anything to do with you, and considering what happened to some of my friends, I don't think you would want to be part of this.
My cameraman friend, we have fought alongside each other in battle. We are as close friends as to be brothers, even.
Wow.
So will you take me to wherever this thing is? And the rest of these, I guess.
I don't know. We have a lot of research to do. Wait,
Yeah, no, you have some real research in the land of dragons, Professor. I'm gonna teach you something. He turns back to Phasmith. So what do you say?
Didn't you need the library for something?
Yeah, I've forgotten about that. No.
I still need the library.
All right, we can set out tomorrow.
Maybe a bath.
There's water right there. I can dip you in if you'd like.
No, thank you.
Here's it sloshes against the side of the cavern. And you take a look in the water, and there's just, stuff floating. Stuff from the horde. There's a couple, feathers and a couple of just...
It doesn't look much cleaner than I am. Thanks.
Maybe we go do some research, and then we take it with us to the treasure.
You would all remember as well that upon finishing this task, Keeper Lauristina is waiting for you to report back. Also with a reward.
I'll just put this in a safe place.
And Wadah feeds it to Rodriguez.
Good.
Before I give it back.
It's kind of like a garbage pail where you just step on the pedal like a...
Good job.
There's a rusty, creaking metal on metal noise. Rodriguez's jaw opens up, still covered in some of the goop from the monster.
Does Phasmith see anything inside the mall when it opens? Like, oh, what else is there?
Folds it carefully, inserts it in between the goop, into the shark's jaws.
Why is it so greasy?
Because he bit the monster. With his teeth.
Okay.
And he's got teeth.
I wouldn't know. I didn't touch it.
Well, good. Don't touch Rodriguez. And then you won't get it on you.
He's very aerodynamic looking.
Yes, he is. Tink, tink.
I believe the phrase is hydrodynamic. Anyway, doesn't matter. Reward, library time. This is fantastic, but I don't really feel like sitting in a canal for a while. Let's go breathe some fresh air and some dusty book pages. How about we all away from here?
All right. So you all depart the cavern, sort of climbing through the little tunnel that you came through, climbing down over the ledge that you climbed up in order to get into the space. You find yourself back at the corridor-lined canal, and the sound of the water rushing past you even louder and louder as you get closer to it. Specifically, the sound of that water pouring over the edge down into the Salak. You make your way back through the gates, unhindered by the rings that you have from Keeper Loristina. And you make your way back to the staircase that you were brought down into the canals. As you come back up, you find yourselves in the courtyard of the library, or rather in one of the little outpost buildings that's closer to the walls, closer to the edge of the city itself. And standing outside of that door, seemingly waiting for the lot of you, is a young adolescent drow with a tuft of black hair across the top of his head, a pair of glasses, and he turns to the group of you. Oh, you are back. Were you successful? And he does a thumbs up at you right
Yeah. We smushed it.
You smushed what?
The big it had tentacles and
Oh.
it was technically Professor, what's it called?
Wait, I think it might be a new discovery, which maybe we should have more access and so we can study this creature and, publish a couple papers.
Yes, it's very unfamiliar. Definitely requires further information.
Well, you two have been researching all sorts of different creatures lately, so that would make sense. I think that could work in your favor.
Yes, we're on the posters, right? We're on the posters. We're the very famous zoologists here, so it's all good. We can
Well, yes, I know.
do all this research.
I've been bringing you books since you've been here the entire time.
Yes. What's your name again?
And he sighs and looks at you, with a come on,
Veril. It's Veril.
No.
Varel, right. You've been so helpful, Varel. Thank you so much. You're like our friend Karen outside. Karen?
That's Callan.
Callan. Yes, such great work.
He gets his shoulders drop, and he just pinches the bridge of his nose, and turns on his heel, and is like, Varel wishes to speak with you. Please come follow me. Steps forward, his purple robes matching those of all of the other adjuncts and the folks that work here at the library wear. And he takes you back, step by step, to Varel's office, in which he sort of raps gently on the door, peeks his head in, announces that you have arrived, and lets the lot of you into the space, in which Varel is sitting at their desk. They sit up, close the book in front of them. It's like, well, how did it go?
Phasmith puts up all four arms, thumbs up, back. Yeah.
I think we handled it.
What was it?
I don't really know. It was large and horrible, but the cricks are fine.
Good. That is wonderful news. Was there anything else down there that seemed off?
We're not telling them about the book, right? The book is ours. The map is ours, at least.
Waydaw's not saying anything about the map.
Just betwixt us as a group.
Waydaw looks kind of around at the party very nervously because he's terrified.
Damn.
And steps in front of Rodriguez.
There were pockets of darkness down there.
How do you mean?
The kind that took away eyesight, even if you have dark vision.
Oh.
I'm able to banish that type of thing, but don't see that around too often.
They pull another book out from a drawer in their desk, open it up, and just very quickly scribble down as you are speaking. So that is good to know. Well, provided that the Cricks are well and coming back, I do believe You have completed the task as we requested, so I will provide you with your reward, and I will give you all your scrolls of access to the inner library. I regret to say that we still need at least another day to get the roof situation under control, in which you will be allowed to come back into the library. I understand, ma'am.
Wow.
However, in that amount of time, there is someone else who would like to speak with the lot of you, if you have a moment.
With us?
And as you say that, there's another knock on the door, and it's the drow boy again, pops his head in, he's like, they're here. Veril turns toward him, he's like, yes, good, wonderful. If you would all come this way, please. And as Veril is walking past the door, you see the drow kind of, like, taps them on the shoulder, just like, can I please get my name tag? It has been months, I've been here for months, and I do not have a name tag. So yes, Knock will get you your name tag, don't you worry about it. Hang tight. So you all walk out, and as you exit the tower of the library, coming down the pathway back to the Emerald Gate, going through the Emerald Gate itself, you see, of course, Callan also donned in his security purple robes, and to his side is a group of very royal-looking guards, and they are standing out front of a carriage that is definitely large enough to seat the lot of you. As you come through the door, Veril gestures towards the carriage. I say, if you please.
I'm gonna need to know who these people are first. I don't just get into strange carriages with strangers.
Hey, Callan.
Iaro just climbs in. On hearing that. You're like, come on, let's go. We have a treasure to find.
My apologies, I did not even say who it was. The king himself would like to speak with you all.
Oh.
Thurgy does her best to very quickly dust herself off and do, like, the deepest curtsy that you could imagine for
Yes,
for a half-orc.
Save that for the man himself. You are quite all right. Please, now can you hurry up? Everyone.
She climbs in.
Ben looks a little spooked.
Hey, Callan, these guys good?
Yeah, of course they're good. They're the fucking Kingsguard.
Oh, okay. All right.
And he
All
just
right,
kind of
we're
makes a
good.
face like, duh. Like, of course you'll be safe with them.
From out of town, man. Sorry.
Wada waits while Wadwigas does a kind of twisting motion to get up into the carriage first. And Wada makes sure he gets in okay before climbing up, turning around and going, bye, Cowan!
Then Callan waves, kind of like, oh, he's saying bye to me. Can you roll perception for me, please?
Oh no. 4.
You don't really clock it until after you've been sitting in the carriage for like 10 minutes and already kind of going along, that you're thinking about the wave, and it was like, that was so nice to say goodbye to Callan, and like that, he even waved back. But you also recall seeing the drow boy, a little dejected, starting to wave, and then like, oh, that wasn't for me. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Caldwell. Off we go.
Callan all was just like, whatever, fuck. So, y'all are in this carriage together. Probably a bit stinky. Probably a bit, haggard. But nonetheless, the door closes and you're off.
Thurgy is frantically trying to do something with her hair to fix it and just trying to generally clean herself up.
Does anybody know prestidigitation? I did that on the first try.
Hey!
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Can you clean us up? At least present us as not smelling like Canal Creek.
Sure. And so with that, Yoro kind of claps his hands, rubs them together, and the dirt and grime and slime disappears from you lot. He chooses to remain filthy.
Oh, Lord.
Covered in the blood of his enemies.
Thank you, my dragonborn friend.
Well, now I feel bad I didn't steal more muffins this morning.
Oh, I can clean up the muffins too if you need.
Oh,
Opens his fantasy Jansport backpack and pulls out maybe one more incredibly stale muffin.
It is now A fresh muffin.
Oh,
I don't know if that's how prestidigitation works, but okay.
My young lord.
It smells like a very fresh muffin.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
And it looks like a fresh muffin.
But it is still very...
Phasmith thaumaturgies it to make its colors a little more saturated. So it's like really
vibrant, beautiful looking.
You can
hard
tell it's
muffin.
like fake yellow now or something.
Meanwhile, this muffin.
It's like that plastic food that comes in the kitchen place.
Oh my god, yeah. No, it's getting closer to the stuff that they, like the fake pieces of food that they put in the display cabinet,
Yes.
but it looks like it's been there for months. Or somebody painted it kind of a weird color.
It's like somebody took like a Whopper and then actually made it look like the advertisements for a Whopper.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's much better. That.
Please don't eat that.
Yeah.
oh, I mean, I was gonna break it up for everybody, but actually, now that you mention it, I'm thinking maybe it would be more polite if we gave it to the king.
No.
Nope.
And Thurgy goes to grab the muffin and throw it out the carriage window.
Oh, okay.
As you throw it out, you're...
Miss, that was incredibly rude of my young ward. I apologize, but also please do not take his possessions and throw them out the window. I could have talked with him about this. I'm sorry, my young ward. We will get you more muffins when we're back at the hotel.
That's okay. I probably got some other stuff in here. But, I mean, we don't have to eat it now.
But also, if they're old, just toss them out. It's okay.
Okay, fine.
Everybody knows that croissants are better after day 10. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think also Phasmith is going to tuck his two arms into like some spare sleeves on his vest to kind of hide his forearms a little more, because he's just a little bit more like, okay, all right, going to meet the king. Okay.
Put the extra arms away to be polite.
Does anyone know anything about the king? Does he also have quicks on his roof?
Can everyone make a history roll? Ben, you can make it with advantage. So,
Natural
live
20.
here.
Oh,
Nice.
brothers!
Everybody's on fire tonight. Good lord.
You just got an 8.
Shut the fuck, don't. Don't you dare say
Look, in my defense, I'm cloistered away at a lab all day. I don't have time to give a shit about politics.
What'd you roll?
Natural one.
You didn't even know this realm had a king.
I thought this was a democracy.
Demo what?
Alright, we got 20, 30.
Well, 21 with the.
Okay.
Yeah.
8.
Okay.
It's a nat one.
15?
Wait,
History, you said?
Oh, wait.
12.
That's
I'm sorry.
It's fine, just
okay.
plus 0.
That's okay.
Oh, so
it's just the
it's
roll.
just the nat 20.
Okay, wonderful.
Just the nat 20, he said.
It's fine.
Between just like, hey, Callan, these guys good? And Callan relayed the entire history of the nation to him.
So, Frederick, to your point, there's a king here? What? No way! Thurgy, you did know that there was a king
Yes.
here. That's about where your knowledge ends. Wait, was next. So yeah, you do know that there is a king, King Fastelark. He's got a pretty good reputation, and has for the extent of the time that he has been in power. Yarrow, Faz, Ben. You know that he is a tiefling, and just even more so than just a good reputation, he is generally well loved by the people of Bakaran. Under his rule, things have been pretty peaceful. Not to say that it's been super hairy otherwise, but yeah, there hasn't been a lot of conflict. The city has been in good condition and in good kind of like social standing. Seems like an overall good dude from what you've heard about. He's got a son, also named Fastelark. Alright, so, is there anything else that y'all would like to discuss, talk about, do while you are in the carriage? Because it's, I imagine that whenever this conversation that you're having does come to a close, there is a bit of a awkward silence, because you're not there yet.
We don't really know each other that well yet.
I know you're racist against dragons.
I'm not racist, I'm just right.
Jeez.
It's okay, Paolo. He never wants.
The Dragonborns are not dragons.
That's where you're wrong, sir. I will put this carriage over.
It's a completely separate evolutionary line. It's divergent. Or sorry, it's convergent.
Phasmith is gonna slowly pull out a book. Who wants to see my vacation photos? There was a castle up north. I took like 200 shots of it. It was a great. I think it was 200. I might have forgotten. I don't think I actually have that much. It felt like 200. That's the important part. And I want you to experience every little bit of it.
These aren't drawings, these are just...
What?
Yeah, we can... Yeah, sure, they're drawings. They're really fast.
And hey, you know what's really cool about these really fast drawings? You recognize that castle.
Do I?
Uh-huh.
What castle is it, DM?
The castle you grew up in, babe.
I grab the photo album, just like, oh my god, it's home! I miss it so much!
Where was that?
Soul Cinder.
Oh, that's big.
When were you in Soul Cinder, Faz?
Time flies, you know. It was a while ago.
That's okay. I hope you enjoyed your time there.
Yeah, totally.
You grew up in a castle.
And you see Thurgy, like, very quickly goes pale, and then also very quickly, like, blushes really hard. And she's just like, I mean, this was the castle that was in the town I grew up in, so, like, he was in the town of Soul Cinder. It's not like he was in my home or anything like that, so, yeah, it's just he was at Soul Cinder, and I was really excited to see Soul Cinder, and just very quietly gives the photo album back to Faz.
Thank you.
Is Soul Cinder like a capital or something?
I mean, it's a really big city in the northeast. By the ridge. I don't know if you've traveled up to the ridge, but there's lots of mountains and lots of wildlife. So maybe you've been up there.
I have. Yeah, we discussed that already. Outside the library.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played a few
Okay.
days there. Very generous patrons of those bars. Rowdy crowd, though.
Oh yeah, we play
You
hard.
know how to drink.
Where else have you traveled, Phasmith?
There was some other town which had like, oh hey, we have a scale model of Baccarat, and it was just like 2 puddles though, so it wasn't as cool. But like, hey, they tried. That was cool.
With some kid's art project.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I didn't see any adults there. I guess. Listen, it's the effort that counts.
Well, you've all traveled a lot.
You're one to talk, my young lord.
Well,
All the journeys we've gone on so far.
well, I know why I'm traveling. I know what I'm looking for. Do you guys know what you're looking for?
Sort of.
Well, I'm looking for a dragon. Are you looking for a dragon?
Not really, no.
What is it? Is it a different animal?
No, it's not an animal.
Is it a person?
We're gonna be here for a long time if we do this.
Okay. I mean, you
I
don't,
just-
you don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
I prefer not to, thanks.
Are you by chance also an academic?
Yes! Let's go with that.
Frederick wants to probe, but understands. He's been at that point in academia. Just nods. Kind of pats your shoulder. You'll get there. You'll get there.
Uh-huh.
And Ben just kind of curls into the scarf that Faz lent her. Shrinks back a little bit, tries to get comfortable. Still exhausted.
What about you guys? What are you looking for? I mean, maybe you're not looking for something at all.
I think I know what I'm looking for now. Well, I knew what I wanted to look for. I just didn't have an idea of where to look for it. It's helpful to know that there are still places I haven't checked yet that I can go back to now.
So you're not really an exterminator.
No.
What do you do?
I'm a cleric from up north. Just helping people where I can.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Like, Ben here. I don't... It doesn't matter who they are right now. It matters who they want to be. I think they need to be... They just need some help getting there. That kind of deal.
Yo, do you want to be a musician?
Want to? I've been a musician my whole life, kid.
Oh.
He pulls out his Bible app and just starts playing kind of a very upbeat tune. Good carriage bouncing around music.
Oh.
But as for what I'm looking for, nothing. Because I know once I find it, what am I going to do after?
Well, then why did you want to help me with my thing?
Why not?
You know... Touche.
Well, if you want, you can help me find my thing that I'm looking for.
You mean a dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will one day bring you to the north if we all stick together. Assuming I don't offend, King What's-His-Face up here.
Sassalar.
Yeah, I don't care for royalty too much.
Oh.
Why I've chosen to remain filthy. Let him know who's boss.
Yes, but we also need to keep our heads if we would like to go on said journey that you want to do. So, maybe just a little bit of, I don't know, decorum.
Yara stops playing, takes, his sleeved arm, and kind of wipes off his unsleeved arm. There we go.
Dougie, are you looking for jewelry?
Yeah, I'm supposed to find this necklace that was stolen from my town a really long time ago. I don't really know anything about it other than it, has a name called the Amulet of Pycrix, but... Yeah. So first stop was the library to see, if it has a name, it must be kind of important, right? If it was stolen, it was probably pretty important.
Do any of us recognize that name?
Roll history. I'm gonna take that as another natural one for you.
Yeah, once again, cloistered away in a lab. What else am I gonna do with it? That's...
Definite in all of the things you have studied, that is not a name that has ever crossed your path.
I'm just like, Pie Crix. Pie Crix. I get it. It's like Crix made of pie.
So I got a 17.
Okay. Fast?
2.
19.
9.
Okay. So yeah, Faz, Ben, doesn't really sound familiar to you guys. Sorry, it was an 18 and a what barrel?
17.
19.
17 and a 19. There's something about the name about Pycrix that it sounds like something you've heard before, Yarrow, in your travels, perhaps in conversation with other people.
Do I remember what kind of people?
Rowdy people. Wait, you think that maybe there was one book that you kind of thumbed through that you ultimately decided it wasn't a book that you were going to use because it didn't have anything to do with dragons, but you're thinking that maybe that was in that book. It sounds familiar to you, but you just neither of you can place specifically what it is, but you have come across it in some way, shape, or form, even if you don't know what it is.
Do I remember if it's like good or bad?
I feel like neutral connotations.
It's just really, really magical.
Definitely magical. But like, just that it is magical, that's it.
It's just really, really pretty.
It sounds cool. It probably does something really cool. I mean, usually the ones that they write about are only the coolest ones.
Does it
So you
have-
have heard of it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I remember what color that it was, but I remember it looked really pretty. So it makes sense that you're looking for it.
Thurgy just like nods knowingly. It's like, yep.
After another moment of sort of awkward silence, of conversation pittering out, the carriage suddenly comes to a full halt. The doors on both sides open up. You can catch kind of the sides of the guards as they stand on the opposite sides of the door. A hand out for anyone who wishes to take it, for help getting out of the carriage itself. And one by one, unless you would like to say otherwise, you all step out of the carriage.
Thurgy takes that hand exceedingly daintily.
And he is the guard is very careful as well. It almost kind of like just feels your hand in his and just almost doesn't even move it, but you can feel that support underneath it. Very familiar sensation.
Oh, okay.
You know, not the person. You know. As you step out, you see that most of the clouds from the night before have cleared away. The sky much brighter and much bluer than it was before, standing as a lovely background for one of the other most important buildings in Bakaran, that being the castle of the king Thasalak. Also, like the rest of the city, made of these skyrocketing towers that just reach up, up, up into the sky around the city itself. And standing above the entrance into the gate itself, you see a horned man with a merlot colored skin and these very elegant horns that shoot kind of up and back from his head, twisting away from him, with these beautiful royal adornments across the horns, across his shoulders, gives a gentle wave to the lot of you, and you have arrived at the castle in Bakaran.